We're here with Thought for Thursdays with Norwood Teague. We're just going to start firing away here. First question comes from Brian in Richmond. We've heard the story about you and Shockey eating at the Waffle House. Did you think 2 years later you'd have a Final Four under Coach Smart?
Probably not. And not anything to do with Shaka. Just it's so it's still hard to comprehend that we did what we did. I knew that when I was talking to him that we had a diamond in the rough, and I knew we had something special. And I knew even the times when, in the last 2 years when maybe we had some rough patches, I never doubted him whatsoever. It's easy for me to say that now, but I never even had one moment of anxiety when other people sometimes were doubting him. If you watch him work behind the scenes and the things he does with the players and the way he communicates, he's the real deal, as I've said.
The question that obviously looms over top is about football. This comes from Justin in Charlottesville. We've heard about the university doing studies. Have they done them already, or are they in the progress of that? Is it possibility becoming reality?
We haven't done a study yet. We are getting ready to launch another pretty significant fundraising campaign, which will center on men's basketball, but will benefit a lot of other sports as well. And we really need to get that up running and get that done before we do anything. The one thing that concerns me about a study is that as soon as we say we're doing a study, everyone's going to assume we're starting football. You can argue either way. People may say, "Oh, just do it anyway." Well, as soon as we're a public university, people know they will know we're doing a study, and we'll have every media outlet in Richmond banging down our door, wanting to ask all kinds of questions. But no study right now. We will do one in the next, I don't know the time frame, but we'll do one soon. And football right now, it's going to happen here one day. It's a matter of, I don't think it's if, it's a matter of when. The when is what I don't know. The wins of the economy will certainly help if things would change there. We've got a lot to do before that happens for our other sports.
Along the football question, Pete in Richmond asked, what's the biggest misconception among fans when talking about VCU football?
I think the misconception is the cost and where those costs lie. If we start football, we'll have to, over a period of time, probably add 3 to 4 women's sports in order to comply with Title IX. And that's a real hidden issue there. And I think that the other misnomer or misconception is that we'd be playing Division I football against Virginia and Virginia Tech right away on Thursday night on ESPN. No, we would not. We would be 1AA in the Colonial, and we may be there for a long period of time, or we may not. But it's just, there's a lot of twists and turns there. And don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-football. I worked in it for a long time before I came here, but we just got to make smart decisions.
You mentioned the other sports. Bill and Glen Allen asked, we know about the improvements to the Siegel Center that are going on right outside the door here. Are there any talks about improving other teams' facilities in the near future?
Sure. We're currently in negotiations to probably shouldn't say too much here, about buying land, which would benefit a lot of other sports. We are going to build a practice gym for basketball. It's tentative right now, but it's looking stronger every day. To build a practice gym attached to the Siegel Center and build it out in the parking lot that would have a training room for all sports, a large state-of-the-art training room. Training meaning ice and tape, not lifting weights. Ticket office and a lot of other things there. So all the sports are in the mix for growth. I don't know how, the tennis needs a facility, an enhanced facility, and so does baseball. So we'll see how land purchases work out and how things kind of unfold. But trust me, I stay up at night staring at the ceiling and worried about that.
James in California, after the historic year VCU Athletics had this past year, how will 2011, 2012 be regarding to other teams, not just men's basketball?
I think just what I'll say about that is our exposure, our marketing, our branding, our awareness, our name has I mean, it hasn't gotten greater, it hasn't increased, it hasn't grown dramatically, it has exploded all over the country. And that'll never go away. And that'll affect teams as they recruit, as they travel, as they play, everything that they do will be affected.
Eric in Chesterfield, there were a lot of rumblings about schools wanting to talk to Coach Smart. Can you discuss how many schools called and how did you deal with that?
Well, I mean, there was a lot of the best thing that probably happened to us is we kept winning, and it kept people away. Obviously, NC State came and talked to him, and there was one other school that called, but it was in a very hasty situation. Not their fault, but it's just because of us winning and them wanting to talk to him, and they hired a coach kind of in the process. So they called me right when we landed coming back from Houston. But the news then was, Norwood, we're fine, we got somebody, but they had called me all day. And I knew who it was. That worried me. And NC State, I think Shaka just wanted to hear what they had to say, and he did talk to him briefly.
John in Virginia Beach, how did you get started in the administration side of college athletics?
I worked in administration when I was in school at University of North Carolina, and I really got turned on to it when I was much younger because my cousin, Todd Turner, who was an athletic director at about 4 or 5 different schools before he retired or before he went into consulting, got me passionately interested in it when I was really, really young. He was at UVA for 11 years as an associate AD from about 75 to 86-ish. And, when he got that job, I was probably 8 or 9 years old, and immediately was going up there all the time and followed him around and knew what he did, and that started me in it, to say the least.
Sean in Richmond, what is the most rewarding part about being an athletic director, and what's the most difficult part?
Most rewarding is seeing kids develop as becoming men and women and having success and getting their degree and going through the growing pains and also seeing coaches have success and develop programs that do a lot for kids and young people and do a lot for the university. As it relates to that, I really enjoy helping a university grow, and a university that I think is in a great place that just has a unique niche, and we're a big part of that. And I like education, and that's part of the whole world that we're in. It's just really fun. Difficult things, managing people sometimes is hard. I'm very, I have high expectations for harmony and high-end producing organization. I don't let things slide or push things under the rug. I want to be operating at a high level, so managing people, I take that real serious, and I think about it a lot, and it's hard.
Van Pav asked, to me, VCU Athletics has always had the feeling of a family, not necessarily always getting along, but all the fans and administrators want to grow and support each other. How can VCU move forward and grow without losing the family and familiar elements to make it great?
I think we do. I really think we can keep that as long as we keep that in mind as we grow. We're going to keep it, if that makes sense. I don't know if I have a specific formula on how to do that, but you got to have great people who run the organization, who care and reach out, and who have relationships and deal with fans and deal with donors and deal with stakeholders in the right way. To make them know they count. I do worry though, and Pav, it's a good question, because we'll have to, we've gone to the Final Four and the ante has been raised in a lot of ways, and we're trying to raise money and do things, and I don't want people to start getting the idea that all we're about is asking for money and we don't care about people or anything, but we do need to build the budget and we do need to grow. But I hope we just can keep that in mind as we go forward. That it's definitely I think a non-adversarial relationship. I know it is non-adversarial.
I understand that the Governor's Cup is getting some steam behind it. Do you think we'll ever see the day that Virginia Tech and UVA will play a doubleheader against us, or
yeah, I think it will happen. It looks like it will happen in December of 12, and we may not play in the first year. What we probably will do is alternate Tech and Virginia in the event, because it's going to be difficult for them to come back every year. Looks like right now the first year will be Virginia playing Old Dominion. And the reason why it's this way is only because of the way the dominoes are falling. Because I've been involved in every discussion, there's no sense of us trying to get what we want, and well, we want to get what we want, but it's not, there's no manipulation there. It looks like Virginia and ODU in December of 12 and us and Tech in December of 13 right now.
Greg from Charlottesville, you've got a pretty good young crop of head coaches, most of which you and your staff brought in. Is the young and energetic something that you guys look for? Is that just kind of how it happened?
That's how it happens in a way. I don't really worry about age. I do worry about energy. I'm always very concerned about recruiting ability. I think that's tremendous. I think Dave Gifford in soccer, our new men's soccer coach, I say new, he's been here a year, but he's put together a staff, and himself being involved in that staff has shown how important recruiters can be because they've redefined our soccer program. So young is not always the issue, but energy and talent and ability to manage a program, ability to have contacts to where you're well networked into your sport. It's not just going and selling your school always, it's who you know and what AAU coach you know who can help you get a kid to lean to you, or what club coach you know that can help you, with a kid. That's more important than I think age.